The first missing report came from the volcanic moon of Caraxes, where dragonkind had ruled the skies long before humans learned how to fold space. At first, no one panicked. Hatchlings wandered. They hid. They slipped into magma tunnels and slept for days. That was normal. But when a second clutch vanished, then a third, panic spread like wildfire through the draconic conclave. These were not ordinary beasts. Caraxes dragons were sentient, ancient, and fiercely territorial. Their young were guarded by entire bloodlines. Yet the lairs were untouched. No scorch marks. No broken wards. No scent of predators. The hatchlings were simply gone. By the third week, the Sky Matrons convened an emergency summit. Vast, serpentine queens coiled around pillars of obsidian, their wings folded tight with barely contained fury. "This is not theft," Queen Virastra hissed, smoke curling from her nostrils. "This is impossible." "Nothing is impossible," another queen replied grimly, "except coincidence." And there was one detail that unsettled them all. The missing hatchlings came from different continents, different broods, different bloodlines. Yet every disappearance occurred on the same cycle. When the conclave Fire-seers finally traced the energy signatures, the answer made no sense at all. The trail didn't lead to pirates. It didn't lead to rival species. It led to a human colony ship. Specifically, Maintenance Deck 7. The human's name was Elias Ward. He was nobody important. No rank. No psychic ability. No combat record. He repaired heat exchangers and slept wherever his shift ended. Elias had grown up on a low-gravity farming ring and signed on with the Interstellar cooperative because it paid better than starving slowly. For the last month, he hadn't slept well. Every night, he dreamed of warmth. Not heat, comfort. A heavy, steady presence pressed against his chest. Sometimes he heard faint chirps. Sometimes a deep, rumbling purr that vibrated through his bones. He assumed it was stress. Or loneliness. So when the alarms finally sounded, Elias was already awake. Red lights strobed across the corridor. A voice boomed over the intercom. "All personnel remain stationary. Do not approach non-human entities." Elias groaned, rolled onto his side, and froze. There were 3 dragon hatchlings sprawled across him. One was curled beneath his chin, its tiny horns resting against his throat. Another lay across his chest, wings twitching softly. The third had wrapped its tail around his arm like a blanket. They were warm. Not scorching. Just right. They were also purring. Elias stared at the ceiling, heart hammering. "I swear," he whispered, "this better still be a dream." The hatchling on his chest snorted, released a small puff of smoke, and nuzzled closer. Definitely not a dream. The conclave arrived in force. Battle cruisers ringed the colony ship. Dragon matrons descended like living storms, their massive forms blotting out stars as they approached the hangar bay. Soldiers, human and alien alike, prepared for the worst. No one expected what they found. Elias sat cross-legged on the deck, back against a crate, surrounded by 12 hatchlings. They slept in a tangled heap, draped over him like living scarves. One suckled idly on the fabric of his shirt. Another clutched his finger with tiny talons. The moment Queen Virastra entered, every adult dragon froze. The hatchlings did not stir. "They're calm," one matron whispered. That is impossible, another replied. They have not slept peacefully since hatching. Elias slowly raised his hands. Ah. Hi. I can explain. Queen Virastra lowered her massive head until one molten eye was level with him. Human, she said carefully, why are our children on your chest? Elias swallowed. I don't know. They just started showing up. First one, then more. They cry if I leave. And if I try to put them down, they get upset. As if on cue, a hatchling whined and tightened its grip. The queen inhaled sharply. They have bonded. The hanger went silent. Bonded? A human officer asked. Like pets? Every dragon present growled. No, Queen Virastra said. Like imprinting. She turned back to Elias. You carry a neural rhythm, she said slowly. A pattern of bioelectrical signals. It mimics the heartbeat frequency of a world mother. Elias blinked. What now? The first dragon, she replied. The one who sang us into existence. Elias stared down at the sleeping hatchlings. You're telling me, my chest feels like their mom? Yes. Her. The middle weeks became chaos. News spread across the galaxy, human soothes dragons. More hatchlings escaped their lairs. They crossed continents, slipped through shields, and stowed away on ships all to find Elias Ward. Entire corridors had to be reinforced to handle the growing pile of sleeping dragons. Elias couldn't leave. If he tried, they woke screaming, flames sputtering uncontrollably. Entire systems risked overload. So he stayed. He read aloud to them. Old Earth stories. Maintenance manuals. Even grocery lists. It didn't matter. His voice, steady and calm, kept them asleep. Scientists ran scans. Psychics failed to replicate the effect. Artificial heartbeats didn't work. It was just him. You're not special, Elias told one researcher flatly. I just don't freak out when something's heavy and breathing on me. The dragons disagreed. To them, Elias was safe warmth. He was stillness. He was the quiet center of a universe that burned too brightly. The crisis came when the largest clutch yet arrived. 40 hatchlings. The ship groaned under their combined mass. Reactors overheated. The cooperative demanded action. Queen Virastra returned, her expression grave. We cannot keep them here, she said. But we cannot separate them from you without harm. Elias looked exhausted. His beard was singed. His uniform permanently smelled like smoke. So what's the option? He asked. The queen lowered her head. Come with us. The silence that followed was heavy. You want me to live on Caraxis? You would be honored, she replied. Guarded. Provided for. You would help raise a generation that will remember peace. Elias looked down at the hatchlings, who shifted in their sleep, trusting and unafraid. He sighed. Guess my maintenance days are over. Years later, travelers spoke of a strange sight on Caraxis. A human sat at the heart of a vast obsidian sanctuary, older now, hair streaked with silver. Around him slept dragons, young and old, coiled gently, breathing in time with his steady heartbeat. The hatchlings grew strong. But they never forgot where they first found rest. And whenever the world grew too loud, too fierce, too full of fire, they returned. To the human. To his chest. To sleep.